Today on the homestead, I need to build a new one of these compost bins for my humanure. If you haven't heard about it, Google humanure and go see Mr. Jenkins, or Jenks, Joe Jenks. He's been doing it over 40 years, and it's extremely interesting. And yes, we do go poo in a bucket. This one over here, I closed up last November. And this one, and it used to be, if not as high up as this one that I'm closing now. And you can see that in a year how it just compresses and gets down to the good stuff. And what I'll be doing with this one next spring, is I'll put it out on my fruit trees. And then this one will set a year, and the following year it'll go on the fruit trees. And this middle bay here is where the straw and my tool, the hoe, to open it up and dump the buckets. So now I'm going to build a new one to start using for this year, because like I said, this one I'm closing up. It's topped off. So come to find out, Christine and I will fill one of these in a year. It's been a year. This one also has, I don't know if you can see it, when I raked out the garden, the leaves, all the wood, the forest and lawn litter, I put in there too, because hey, why not? Okay, so let's get building. All right, now we're on the other side. There's three new pallets I'm gonna make the new one out of. And there's the bay for the straw. So what I'm gonna do is use this older one as one of the walls and just build it over here. And I think that's all we'll need, since we only fill up or top off one of these every year. So come spring, this one will be empty. And then by the time the new one gets topped off, I can start using this one. So the first thing you need to do is make a little concave, just a little shallow hole, so when the liquids go down, it won't go running off. It'll stay in the pen, or the penned up area. So let's see just how big I need this thing. Well, it's just kind of a rough guesstimate. I just need to, like I say, just kind of shallow this out a little bit so the liquids all fall to the bottom and not running out everywhere, to keep it contained. And through the magic of YouTube, you don't have to watch me scrape that all around. I don't know if you can see it. You really don't have to do much, just kind of know what your grade is and get it all to kind of hang out there. How I hold them together, you can see on the old one, is I use wire ties. They're plastic, they don't rust, you don't have to worry about unscrewing them. And when it comes time, you just cut the whatever's one side, let it drop, get your material, put it back up, and wire tie it again. That's what we're going to do here. As soon as I can get this thing to stand up, right? Here we go. And there you have it. Couple of wire ties on each corner. And let's see, that ain't going anywhere. That is not going anywhere. You can shake that all you want. Then you just start putting it in there. I wanted to get this done earlier, but between we had a lot of rain, I had a lot of doctor's appointments, I just didn't get it up. And now I get to take care of those. And you're in luck. Maybe I'll do a quick little thing on like a bucket on how to do it. And hopefully Mrs. Producer doesn't cut it out. And believe it or not, I'm standing here next to this one and that one and those buckets, and I do not smell a thing. Zero smell. So let's get to cleaning some buckets. Today's your lucky day. As you saw, we just built a new bin because that one, as you can apparently see, is not going to take any more. So I'm going to turn all these buckets into empty buckets. Those are ones I have that are cleaned and dried out. It's that simple. This bucket's been out here. Don't smell anything. I mean, this bucket's been sitting for quite a few weeks, but it's this simple. Just rinse out, dump, rinse out the leavings, put your soap of choice in there. Just an inch or so of water and soap. And find yourself a really nice long-handled brush. That's it. You just mix it around, dump the soap and everything right in. Oops, see, right out the side. That's all right, because the way I did it. And that's it. Okay, all clean, no smell. And then, pretty soon you can see the shadow coming over. And then you just set it out. Let the sun help sterilize it and air it out. You can do buckets. Okay. Just kind of go into the process a little bit more. I forgot to get into a little more because I'm sure you'd like to hear about it. I've got those 4 buckets emptied, but when you start it, of course, when it's a standalone, you go all the way around with your ring of straw. And then once you're all done, then you'll cover it with straw. I'll show you that when we get there, but I want to show you that when you first start off, just put a ring around your straw, dump your material in, and just keep doing that till you're done. And then I'll show you how to close it up. Also, I'm standing here with all that, no smell. There you go, all done. Already gonna get some sun here. There's all the lids. I'm sure some of you are gonna have questions about the lids. I don't wash the lids, they don't touch anything. And the only time I grab a lid is when I'm covering the one in the house and bringing it out here. So I'm not gonna waste my time. Soap, water. All right, let's get back out over here. All right, don't be too grossed out. It's just sawdust and soap suds toilet paper. So what I'm gonna do next, and I'll bring you back, is I'm gonna put another ring around here, and then I'll flatten that out, and then cover it. There we go. You see my straw is wet. Right there. There we go. All right. You're gonna build a little ring around it. Cover it. With some straw. And of course, as you go on, the straw will flatten out, and so will the material. Usually wet it down too. Yeah, and that's it. So all right, there you go. Start to finish. Now it looks like a lot. It kind of is because the straw's all puffed up. By the time more rain comes, you put more material in there, and of course it decomposes, it'll compress down. And I have one flyer. I think I was talking too much instead of paying attention. Remember how I said dig a nice little hole? Well, I didn't do it so well, so some of the liquid leaked out. And this is what you're trying to prevent. So what I'll do to correct it is, once it dries out, I'll dig a big trough, and I'll put some pressure treated wood down in there or something like that to hold it back from coming out. All right, one flyer, not bad. Okay, just as the hot wash here, the recap. From my flyer, my one mulligan is pay attention and dig your hole better to keep those liquids in. And the big thing is when you're doing this, for all you left brainers, I'm an LB myself, and it's hard in the beginning, but it's very simple. You're just making a box out of pallets, and that's it. Don't overthink it, don't go crazy, because all you're doing is dumping your yard litter and your poo in there if you decide to go this way. But and I know a lot of you are like, why do you and Mrs. poo in a bucket? Well, for one thing, this started out as just a place to land because she grew up in this area, and it really wasn't meant to be our permanent home in the beginning. It's going to be our like summer place, and we're going to travel. So I wasn't going to put the money and the pain in the butt putting in a septic system. The way you have to maintain them, the cost of them, you have to engineer, do a plan, then you gotta get the city or wherever you live to approve it, then you gotta get somebody to build it for you so that you can stay within all that code crap. Well, here where we live, outhouses and composting like we do are legal. So we're just not wasting a lot of water, just cycling it in the ground to seep, God knows where. And Mrs. Tiny, I was like, well, we'll just build an outhouse. And in no certain terms, I was informed that she doesn't mind going in an outhouse during the daytime when it's not raining and it's summer. So that pretty much, she'll go to an outhouse pretty much about 20% of the time. Because we live up here in Maine and, well, it rains, it snows. So we went with the buckets inside, and plus in the middle of the night and when it's raining and cold, it's a convenience too. I will be building an outhouse, I haven't built it yet, but so that's how it all started. And doing a lot of left brain research and overthinking a lot of things. Eventually just had to step back, get away from the mind lock, and say, you know what? You're just pooing in a bucket. You're going to put it in the compost pile. You wait a year or longer and use it as compost. Now, some of you saying, ooh, poo for compost. Well, your urine has a lot of phosphate in it, and plants, especially my apple trees and fruit trees, other fruit trees, will love it. And don't think when you go to buy something at the store that humanure was not used. A lot of farmers use it. A lot of the smaller towns and cities, to make money, are taking their sewer water, for the sewage plants, and making humanure and pumping it and selling it to farmers, or selling it to pretty much fertilizer companies, and then they go spray it on the farmers' fields. So if you think this is not a good way to go, that's fine. But don't hide from the fact that even when you buy it at the store, you're at some point getting humanure. Again, go check out Joe Jenks. Really interesting theory. He's been doing it over 40 years. And again, left-brainers, you're just building a box out of pallets and dumping your buckets in it and covering it with straw. That's it. See, anything else? Because I usually forget a lot, and then 10 minutes later, I know I should have said that. So let's give it a second. No, I'm good, I think. But again, if you want to do it, try it. Wow. Mrs. Tiny and her tiny dog went for a walk down the road. I think they went to check mail and just kept going. She's recovering from her surgery, so she needs to exercise a little bit, and what a good way to start. Have lunch. All right, well, I need to get back to my chores. I just can't be strolling down the road all day like some slackers. Coming back to my flyer, where I didn't dig the hole deep enough, I put that's a 2x6, like ground contact, 300-year board, whatever the hell it is. But it's the Storm Watch. I don't know, I guess it's good for years and years. I just need it to last 2 years until I can get this thing emptied out, and then I'll redig the hole. Now with the flyer, it was a great example of why you need to dig a hole. From now on, it probably won't be so bad because it'll have to filter down through all the other stuff. However, just to be safe, I buried that 2x6 a good 4 inches or so down in the ground. Probably should have gone deeper, but we shall see. I think it's good enough. If it's not, then guess what? It's just 2x6, just a 2x6, just dig it up and put her down a little bit lower. I think that'll do.
Hey guys, I just wanted to hop on here for a second, sort of butt into Mitch's video. As you can see, it took me a long time to edit that because he took you in down and dirty and close. Editing that wasn't pleasant at all times. You can see the tree is up, so it's been a while. But I wanted to hop on here and just add my 2 cents. I can tell you that if Mitch wasn't perfectly comfortable, handling all of that stuff, handling the buckets and all of that, we would definitely have done something else because, while I have no objection with our bathroom system, I'm not cleaning that. I'm just not. But we didn't, we did try a number of other systems. We thought long and hard when we realized we were going to live here. Before, when it was just camp, we would just carry it in, carry it out, no different than diapers. No different than diapers. We would line our bucket with a big contractor grade bag. Nice and thick, which sometimes we had issues with if they weren't totally well made, if you know what I mean. But when we realized we were going to live here, we saw the cost of doing a septic system and knowing, like Mitch said, knowing we were going to be traveling in our future. We are retired. It is in our future. Once the house is done and my mom is fully settled and you know, when the conditions are right, we're going to be traveling, you know, hopefully on our boat. I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to think as I go, because this is last minute for me. We did explore a number of options. We knew we were going to have electricity, so we thought about the incinerator toilets. But oh my good Lord, have you seen the price of those? Some of them are $4,000 or $5,000. And then on top of that, you know, you still have to have a ventilation system. There are supplies that go with that. You know, you have to have the special little bags to put in that incinerate and take care of the whole issue. So we saw that as maybe being really time consuming. We looked at some of the other composting toilet systems, like, you know, the Nature's Head, and I guess there are a couple of others out there. But the price of that too, it was like, you know, because keep in mind, we were used to just going in a bucket, and it's minimal cost, easy to deal with. But we did want to get into composting. So the Nature's Head was out. We eventually settled on something called a sea head toilet. Composting, it has a separating thing in it, just like the Nature's Head. And it worked great for weekends, when we were up here for the weekends. But once we were here full time, we had a number of spillover accidents, shall we say. And that is not the kind of thing you want leaking around in your house. So it became clear pretty quickly that we didn't monitor it well enough for it to work for us. So we just went right back to the system that we have now. And I think Mitch gave you some names of where he got his ideas from. And our system was born. We've been doing this for 2.5 years now, and there's no issue. There's absolutely no issue. So I just wanted to pop in and add, you know, a couple of things that maybe, you know, he left out. So, and I cleaned it up as much as I could, so I hope nobody's been grossed out. There's nothing really graphic in there now. So you can thank me. All right, we'll see you guys next time.